with two charging ports in the rear. The AC-DC connection is on the left on the driver's side, while the AC connection is on the right, on the passenger side. The charge port doors are manually operated as standard. The optionally available electric charge port doors are illuminated and can be opened via a touch gesture using a sensor in the tailgate or alternatively via the PCM. A new control unit, Smart Actuator Charger Interface Device, or SACID, controls both charging sockets. The advantage for customers is that plug and charge becomes even more convenient. Anyone with a corresponding charging electricity contract will receive a digital certificate. Once this has been installed in the car, the corresponding vehicle function is activated automatically. With the help of the software key, the charging station and car communicate independently as soon as the charging cable is connected. Further authentication via an app, RFID, or credit card is not necessary. Powerful new generation PSM motors. The innovative drive architecture of the Macan, which is based on the premium platform electric, PPE, is designed for long-lasting sportiness and high efficiency. The 800-volt technology, powerful electric motors and sophisticated battery and charging management ensure impressive, reproducible driving performance with combined WLTP ranges of up to 613 kilometers. Depending on the model, the Macan is equipped with different powertrain combinations. Permanent magnet synchronous motors, PSM, are exclusively used on both the front and rear axles, as they enable high efficiency and robust reproducibility of the power output. All electric motors in the new Macan use windings made of rectangular copper wire to maximize the copper filling factor of the slots in the stator. The windings are arranged either as U-shaped hairpins and therefore welded on one side or, as in the performance rear axle motor of the Macan Turbo, as an I-pin welded on both sides. The electric motor on the front axles of the Macan 4 and Macan Turbo has a diameter of 210 mm and an active length of 100 mm. It alone delivers up to 175 kilowatts. The two models differ at the rear axle. The Macan 4 utilizes a compact concept with an inverter, which ensures a particularly efficient and lightweight powertrain. The electric motor has a diameter of 210 mm and an active length of 200 mm and boasts an output of up to 280 kilowatts. The Porsche Macan Turbo has a larger and more powerful drive unit on the rear axle with a diameter of 230 mm and an active length of 210 mm. With a maximum output of 470 kilowatts, the electric motor delivers particularly high torque and therefore a very high continuous output and power density as well as a maximum efficiency of up to 97%. System output up to 470 kilowatts and 1130 nanometers of torque. In combination with both electric motors, the Macan 4 achieves a system output of up to 285 kilowatts, 387 PS, and the Macan Turbo up to 430 kilowatts, 584 PS. With launch control in the Sport and Sport Plus driving modes, overboost output of up to 300 kilowatts, 408 PS, in the Macan 4 and up to 470 kilowatts, 639 PS, in the Macan Turbo is possible for a short time. The maximum torque is 650 and 1130 nanometers respectively. This guarantees excellent driving performance. The Macan 4 accelerates from 0 to 100 km per hour in just 5.2 seconds, while the Macan Turbo takes only 3.3 seconds. They reach top speeds of 220 and 260 km per hour respectively. Power is transmitted to the wheels on the front and rear axles via a two-stage single-speed transmission, designed as a parallel-axis 3-shaft gearbox. On the front axle, the Macan 4 and the Macan Turbo use a gearbox with a ratio of 9.2. A lightweight spur-gear differential is used here to keep the gearbox compact. The two models differ again at the rear axle. The Macan 4 uses a gearbox with a ratio of 9.8. The Macan Turbo uses a gearbox with a ratio of 9.0, which is designed for higher forces. A special feature here is the additional integration of an electronically controlled rear axle differential lock for Porsche Torque Vectoring Plus. Power electronics with silicon carbide semiconductors in the turbo. The pulse inverter comprises the power electronics that convert the direct current from the battery into three-phase alternating current for the electric motors. The main distinguishing features are the current carrying capacity and the semiconductor material. The pulse inverter used on the front axle of the Macan 4 and Macan Turbo utilizes silicon as the semiconductor material. It conducts a maximum of 350 amps to the electric motor. In the pulse inverter on the rear axle of the Macan 4 and Macan Turbo, the highly efficient semiconductor material silicon carbide, SiC, is used for the sake of higher efficiency. This significantly reduces switching losses in the pulse inverter and enables higher switching frequencies. The rear axle pulse inverter in the Macan 4 conducts a maximum of 480 amps, in the Macan Turbo it achieves an impressive 900 amps. The operating strategy also plays an important role in the overall efficiency of a vehicle. Depending on the selected driving mode and the driving situation, the drive torque of the new Macan is distributed fully variably between the front and rear axles. Under stable, moderate driving conditions, it actually comes exclusively from the rear axle drive unit. In this case, the front axle runs passively and can immediately provide drive torque again if required. This fully exploits the efficiency potential of the SiC pulse inverter while retaining the driving stability of an all-wheel drive vehicle. Up to 240 kilowatts recuperation capacity and coasting. Recuperation offers further efficiency benefits. Up to 240 kilowatts can be recuperated in the Macan, depending on how much the driver presses the brake pedal as well as the temperature and state of charge of the battery, SOC, among other factors. This corresponds to a deceleration of around 4.3 m/s superscript 2, which is about 40% of the maximum braking power. This means that up to 98% of the total braking energy can be recovered in everyday use. If the desired deceleration is greater than the power that can be absorbed via recuperation, the hydraulic brake is applied. The driver does not perceive the fine adjustment via the blending function. In keeping with the Porsche philosophy, the Macan can also coast. If the driver eases off the accelerator pedal but does not actively brake, the drive unit is switched off or, at higher speeds, put into zero torque control mode. This slows down the dissipation of kinetic energy and the car glides as far as possible without energy input. Alternatively, the driver can activate thrust recuperation via the PCM. Recuperation then takes place with a moderate deceleration of 0.6 m/s superscript 2. This corresponds approximately to the deceleration generated by engine drag torque, commonly referred to as the engine braking, in conventional drive systems. All in all, the efficient high voltage and drive systems of the new Macan models result in long ranges despite the typical sports car performance. The combined WLTP range is up to 591 km in the Macan Turbo and up to 613 km in the Macan 4. In city driving, well over 700 km is possible on a single charge with both models. Exhilarating sound experience, Porsche electric sport sound. The sporty driving experience of the new Macan models can be underscored with a Porsche electric sport sound specially created for the SUV. An intelligent control algorithm provides the right emotional sound depending on the driving situation, the torque and speed of the electric motors. The specific sound of the Macan is reproduced throughout the entire sound system as well as to the outside. Quintessential Porsche driving dynamics and precise steering feel. Porsche has developed the new Macan with a focus on outstanding driving dynamics and a sporty, direct steering feel. Thanks to a center of gravity that is up to 140 mm lower than in its predecessor, new Porsche Active Suspension Management, PASM, with two-valve technology, Porsche Traction Management, EPTM, Porsche Torque Vectoring Plus, PTV Plus, and the rear axle steering available for the first time in a Macan, the car delivers an exceptionally broad spectrum between comfort and performance. With its particularly sporty seating position, impressive driving dynamics and precise steering, the new Macan conveys a genuine sports car feeling. For its first all-electric SUV, Porsche is tapping into the full potential of electrification and raising the bar in every aspect of chassis development. Aluminium double wishbone front suspension with a separate control arm level supports the Macan's chassis, which enhances responsiveness, steering precision and directional stability thanks to its kinematics and elastokinematics. The Macan Turbo also scores points with its high-performance rear end. The electric motor has been rotated around the vehicle's transverse axis and therefore positioned further to the rear. This enables the desired rear-biased weight balance of 48% in the front and 52% at the back. In the Macan 4, the drive unit is mounted within the chassis subframe, while the Turbo's drive unit is attached directly to the body via 4 points. The separate connection of the axle and electric motor enables the engine and suspension mounts to be tuned separately to the respective optimal configuration. The body in the Macan also offers space for a rear axle steering system and the PTV Plus rear differential lock, which is standard in the turbo. Porsche Traction Management distributes drive power within milliseconds. The two electric motors in the new Porsche Macan are controlled individually and almost in real time via the power electronics. The electronically controlled Porsche Traction Management, EPTM, operates around 5 times faster than a conventional hang-on all-wheel drive system and can respond to slip within 10 milliseconds. In addition, the all-wheel drive distribution is governed by the selected driving program. In normal mode, the drive distribution is designed for high efficiency and range. This means that rear-wheel drive is used as often as possible. In Sport and Sport Plus modes, the focus of the EPTM is on optimizing traction. The drive on the front axle is engaged more frequently. In off-road driving mode, the Macan switches to all-wheel drive with the rough road configuration. The differential speed between the front and rear axles is limited by a virtual center differential lock, which improves traction. In addition, high level I, plus 20 mm or plus 40 mm in high level 2, is activated. As well as the EPTM, Porsche Torque Vectoring Plus, PTV Plus, an electronically controlled differential lock on the rear axle, contributes to traction, driving stability and lateral dynamics in the Porsche Macan Turbo. The control strategy of the PTV Plus depends on the respective driving situation. The rear differential lock and carefully measured, dynamic braking interventions on the rear axle support the steering behavior and steering precision in a targeted manner.